When concerning Jedi, everyone brings up the popular examples of the greatest Jedi Knights, with the likes of Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi, but there are many powerful, wise, and all-around fantastic Jedi that hardly ever get the recognition they deserve. In this video though, in no particular order, we will discuss 6 extremely underrated Jedi that more people should learn more about. Number 6. Plo Koon. Plo Koon was a Jedi Master and Council member during the Clone Wars. Over the Clone Wars, he proved time and time again to be one of the best and most creative battlefield commanders. He was noted by many who fought alongside him for his calm and collected nature during combat. Over the course of the Clone Wars, Koon competed with some of the most deadly separatist warriors of the time, including Aurra Sing, Boba Fett, and Asajj Ventress. Acclaimed as a skilled practitioner and master of Form 5 lightsaber combat, a form that emphasizes power-based attacks, Koon was also not only gifted, but advanced in his use of the Force. Although a basic ability, Koon took Force Push to its absolute limits, being able to destroy upwards of a dozen battle droids with one push. Koon also made advancements developing the ability he called Electric Judgment. Electric Judgment was quite similar to Force Lightning, but was supposedly non-lethal. When approaching the Council about the ability, they warned against its use, but Koon noted strangely he did not use the dark side to use it. Despite the Council's warnings, Koon still used the ability, and it never brought him any closer to the dark side as he noted. Koon was also a Jedi who sat upon the Council before and all the way through the Clone Wars until he was betrayed and killed above Cato Neimoidia. The Jedi Master was remembered for his teachings after his death, as in life he was especially impactful on the Jedi learner Ahsoka Tano. Number 5. Jedi Master Kakruk. Another Jedi Master who served in the Clone Wars, Kakruk was a dangerous but oddly comforting Jedi Master. During the war, Kakruk took place in several notable engagements, including being seemingly killed by General Grievous. After the rise of the Empire and destruction of the Jedi Order he had served all his life, Kakruk managed to save a group of younglings and would go on to teach them the Jedi way. For all his admirable traits, when enraged, Kakruk turned into a different animal entirely, being considered one of the most terrifying enemies to encounter. At one point, Kakruk killed a group of pirates, picking them off one by one in complete silence, using a bow and arrow. During Order 66, Kakruk also massacred much of his clone squadron, killing several with his bare hands. Even after the Empire, Kakruk served Luke Skywalker's Jedi Order faithfully. He still survived long past Luke himself, teaching his descendants in the Jedi way. Kakruk would later go on to lead a Jedi Order of his own, fighting against the likes of Darth Krayt and his one Sith Empire. Number 4. Kaocindarach. Kaocindarach is without a doubt one of the finest lightsaber duelists and instructors who has ever lived. During his era, Darach received the title of Jedi Battlemaster, a title that separated him as a duelist even compared to other Jedi. Darach likely mastered all forms of lightsaber combat and would be the largest contributing factor to the power of his student and future Grand Master of the Order, Satele Shan. As his student, Darach taught Shan all about the Sith and their tactics, showing Shan the dual-bladed lightsaber common to many Sith Lords. Although primarily a Sith weapon, Darach drilled Satele with it until she became a fine duelist in her own right. Darach also explored the other aspects of the dark side, never to use them but to learn from them when the time came when those versed in it may raise arms against him. Tasked with protecting the ancient Sith world of Korriban, Darach determined he should learn from an enemy long thought destroyed, but one he felt may one day return. Because of his teachings and sacrifice, his apprentice would not only survive, but return to defeat the Sith. Number 3. Anyakuro. Renowned and in some cases despised throughout the Jedi Order, Anyakuro was a controversial figure to say the least. Many of the most powerful and headstrong Jedi initiates were sent to her as a last chance to prove themselves worthy of becoming Jedi Knights. Kuro would often beat down, belittle, and drill her students until they could no longer stand, ridding them of everything but their instinct and the Force. Many accused her of using the dark side, but she maintained her methods did have to do with the darkness, but not using it and exploring it, but overcoming it. Despite this, many Jedi were still uncomfortable with her very presence. As for those that truly knew Anya, loved her and admired her for her understanding of the ways of the Force, both light and dark. In many ways, Anya was a superior teacher to all of the Jedi within the temple, as Yoda would later discover. For her era, Anya's methods were considered extreme, but later would be known as revolutionary. As Yoda would discover for himself, and implement when teaching Luke Skywalker, you cannot pretend the darkness around you and within you is not there. You must learn from it as much as you do the light. Overcoming it, not ignoring it, truly breeds great Jedi. After the Clone Wars, Anya would stand toe-to-toe with Darth Vader in his prime, giving the Sith one of the most difficult battles of his career. After finally being struck down, she told Vader she knew Anakin was still alive within him, and then became one with the Force. Number 2, Ulic Qel-Droma. Ulic Qel-Droma was a Jedi prodigy following the defeat of Naga Sadow. Ulic, among a group of other Jedi, assisted in the defeat of the Freed Nad uprising, where the spirit of Nad would warn the Jedi his path would veer down a dark road. Ulic would later turn to the dark side, being dubbed the apprentice of his former Jedi comrade, Exar Kun. For some time, the two brought chaos across the stars. Ulic stooped to his lowest depths when he slayed his own brother in combat. Mortified, his former Jedi friend and lover severed his connection to the Force. Once the hatred of the darkness left Qel-Droma, he too was deeply disturbed by this act. After aiding the Jedi in defeating Kun, he departed into self-imposed exile, determined to die alone. Years later, the daughter of Nomi's Sunrider would seek Qel-Droma out for teaching in the Jedi way. Despite still lacking a connection to the Force, Qel-Droma trained the young Jedi. After training the young Jedi, Droma finally found peace within himself. However, he would later be killed by blaster fire after refusing to fight. Number 1, Vodo Sios Boss. Boss was a very wise and intuitive Jedi Master. As his time as a Master of the Order, he taught his students the way of the light, as he always believed the darkness would be around and there was no way to truly eliminate it, and the only way to combat the dark would be with the light. Boss desired to train as many Jedi students as possible, and many of them became well known throughout the galaxy. Unfortunately, Boss's finest student, Exar Kun, would fall to the dark side, corrupted by promises of power. In a final stand against Kun, Boss promised he would pay for what he had done, but also urged his student to return to the light. Kun, however, at this point completely corrupted by the darkness, refused. Following a heated duel, Boss was eventually killed by Kun, but his students would return to put an end to the new Sith Empire and trap Exar within his temple on Yavin 4. Through the generations, Boss himself became noted as one of the finest teachers the Order had ever seen. So those are 6 of my favorite Jedi that don't get as much exposure as I think they deserve, in no particular order of course. I know I missed a ton of great Jedi, so if you would like to see another list filled with other powerful and wise Jedi, be sure to leave a like. Also, if you would like a Sith version of this video, be sure to let me know. So who is your favorite underrated Jedi, and why? As always, thank you so much for watching, may the Force be with you, and have a great day.